Let me make sure I'm getting the right mic here. Desktop microphone should be this one. And this will just be default. Push to talk. Yeah, whatever. Yes. This is working. I hope it is. Yeah, that's the right mic. Okay. Shoot. It's showing up on both screens. Yes. What is this? 720 at 60 FPS. I wonder if I could do any better. No. Yes, I can. Let me increase some bit rates here. AAC MP3. Maximum bit rate kilobytes per second. Let's give you 4,000. Apply. Okay. No. Yes. This does not look like it's in 2K. Oh shoot, I have to watch these things? Well, it'll probably be helpful. Similar to Minecraft. Shoot. My CPU is getting overloaded because I'm installing a game. Crap. Where's the game? It's probably gonna open up some links. Shoot. Can I show the links? Can I show the videos, I mean? I can show the links, obviously. Jesus. Okay, Skype does not want to hide. You can hide. You cannot hide. What the fuck do you want, Skype? Uh-oh, From the Depths crashed. Shoot, there goes the stream. Holy shit. All Skype had to do was stop. Yes! It is using 5 megabytes per second out of 10. Yes, it is crashing. Here we go. Whoa! No! I lost the tutorial! Frick! It took me to the main menu. Oh crap. This game is really hard to play. Your F3. Okay, maybe. Oh no. This is gonna take a while. Learn by watching. Oh my god. Get my headset. Shoot. really hope this is streaming well. 5 megabytes per second might not cut it. I'll increase it. Okay. Oh my god, it's in the Steam browser. The overlay.
Hi there, my name's Nick Smart and I'm the developer from The Depths, and I'm going to give you a quick tutorial about keyboard-based building. Now, if during this tutorial, or when playing with keyboard-based building, you decide you don't like it and you want to go back to a system like in Minecraft, which uses the mouse, you can. You just need to press F3 and you'll go back to mouse-based building. But without further ado, I'm going to show you some of the advantages of keyboard-based building. So, we start building by looking at the vehicle we want to build on and pressing B. A marker will appear which shows you where we're going to build, the big arrow and the little arrow coming out of it. Show you the forward direction and the upward direction of the vehicle. So don't worry too much about them when you've already got a vehicle built.
Sorry,
Now,
you guys can see the video.
there's going to be 7 simple rules I'm going to show you, and then there's going to be 6 advanced features, and then I'm going to show you what the inventory has to offer. So the first simple rule is that when the marker is green and you left click, it will place a block, and then it will actually move the build cursor away from the camera. So depending on where your camera is rotating, you can build in different directions.
No! Stop coming
So you can
over
do
here.
quite intricate things quite fast using that.
Keeps alt-tabbing.
The second rule is that you can actually press the right mouse button to pull the build cursor towards the camera.
Ah, this makes sense.
The third rule is that when the cursor is red, if you left click, it will remove a block, and then it will move the build cursor away from the camera. And the fourth rule, as you might expect, is that when it's red and you right click, it's going to pull that build cursor towards the camera. So that's basically how we get it around, and of course, because it's called keyboard-based building, we can press the buttons on the keyboard to move it around as well. So you've got Shift, Alt, WAS, and D to move this thing around.
Oh, God.
And again, it moves depending on the way your camera is facing. So right now I'm just holding W.
Well, The Sims 4
and
is
it's moving
about
in
to
all sorts of
launch
different
for no
directions
reason,
because I'm looking in different directions.
That I'm installing
So
it.
that's really handy. Now,
Trying to deny it.
that covers how you get this thing into position. The second thing is how do you actually rotate it.
Kill
So
me.
let's select a block from the inventory, and I'll show you more about this later.
This is the worst time to learn how to play a game.
The rule is that when the cursor is red, if you left click, it will remove a block, and then
Red
it will
removes a
move
block.
the build cursor away from the camera.
Touching
And the
the
fourth
video
rule, as you might
minimizes
expect,
the
is that when it's
video.
red and you right click, it's going to pull that build cursor
Right-click pulls,
towards the
left-click
camera.
pushes. Against camera. With camera.
So that's basically how we get it around, and of course, because it's called keyboard-based building, we can press the buttons on the keyboard to move it around as well. So you've got Shift, Alt, W.
It just occurred to me, you guys might want to see this. And I can't show you it. Let me see. No, screw it. I'm gonna try showing it to you. Monitor capture. Monitor 1, whichever one that is. It switches them. Okay. There, now you can see the video. Actually, let me check if you can even see the video. Oh.
WAS and
There we
D
go.
to move this thing around, and again, it moves depending on the way your camera is facing. So right now I'm just holding
Why is it showing? Oh, okay. Yeah.
W, and it's moving in all sorts of different directions because I'm looking in different directions. So that's really handy. Now, that covers how you get this thing into position. The second thing is how do you actually rotate it. So let's select a block.
Hold on, I didn't understand how to move the position.
Because it's called keyboard-based building, we can press the buttons on the keyboard to move it around as well. So you've got Shift, Alt, WAS, and D to move this thing around. and again it moves
Space Alt WASD. Is it space or shift? Shoot. Space should make you go up. Alt should make you go down. WASD.
depending on the way your camera is facing. So right now I'm just holding W and it's moving in all sorts of different directions because I'm looking in different directions. So that's really handy. Now that covers how you get this thing into position. The second thing is how do you actually rotate it. So let's select a block from the inventory and I'll show you more about this later.
Okay, I'm going to finish watching this in a non-integrated browser.
So if we hold tab, we'll see some different options for rotating it there by pressing different buttons, and you can see that basically we can rotate. So that's basically how we get it around, and of course because it's called keyboard-based building, we can press the buttons on the keyboard to move it around as well. So you've got Shift, Alt, WAS and D to move this thing around, and again it moves depending on the way your camera is facing. So right now I'm just holding W and it's moving in all sorts of different directions because I'm looking in different directions. So that's really handy. Now that covers how you get this thing into position. The second thing is how do you actually rotate it. So let's select a block from the inventory and I'll show you more about this later, whose rotation is actually important. So this wooden beam. So if we hold tab, we'll see some different options for rotating it there by pressing different buttons, and you can see that basically we can rotate it around whilst tab is pressed using WAS and D, Q and E. And finally, and this is quite a neat trick, is that G will make it face the rotation you are looking just by tapping G. So that's basically all 7 of the basic fundamentals of building. Now I'm going to show you 6 advanced techniques. So the first one is very simple. If you press R, when your cursor is over a block, you will select that block. So you can see that we're actually selecting different things by pressing R. The second one, and this is very handy, is pressing N will create a mirror plane in different axes, depending on the way you're looking. So you can actually mirror what you're doing, which is really cool. The third one is that you can look down into an enclosed area like this one, and you can press F to fill it, and that will fill the entire area. The fourth one, I'm going to select a different block to show you this one, is that holding Shift will actually replace a block. And the fifth one is that by pressing P, we can actually shrink all the blocks in the design, and we can go and have a look at what's actually in here. And we can see all sorts of different components throughout the design. There's the engine at the back, some ammo barrels and stuff.
That's
So
pretty
you can get a very
useful.
good look at what's in a design by pressing P. And the final thing I'm going to show you is that you can actually paint stuff. So press P again to get rid of that. So if you go into the inventory, go into the color picker, select a color, go into color replace mode, and you can start painting. And if whilst you've got a color selected and you select another block, you'll just start actually placing blocks of that color. So that's all of the advanced features that I'm going to touch on in this simple tutorial. And now I'm just going to show you the inventory and what it has to offer, especially for new players who want to learn how to play the game. So press E to get into the inventory. Now the inventory has got lots of different tabs down the side on the left hand side, and they sort of characterize or categorize different block types, component types. Now any component that is green you can actually expand, and you can get multiple different kind of variants or related blocks from there. So for example, if you go into the air tab, the jet controller shows you lots of different components that you can piece together to make a customizable jet engine. And heli blades, you've got different types of helicopter blades, different sizes of simple jet engines, and a balloon deployer and a switch for activating that balloon deployer. So that's what the different coloration means. Red means it's locked and you can win a mission to unlock it. And you also have these guides that you can click on. Now I really recommend you do click on some of these because, for example, if we click on the jet guide, it will show us step by step how you add these components together to build a decent customizable jet engine.
This is going to be complicated.
And you can read the blurb and move your mouse over these components to
This
see
is
what they
the
are as
game.
well. So there's guides for pretty much everything. So you've got guides for
Well, it
drills,
was a
for example,
redstone
showing you how you
engineer, so I
combine
guess I can
components
master
together to make
this.
a working drill. And there's the engine going on the back. Now, finally, there's these 3 green sections down the bottom of the inventory. New object, so where we can select to place a new vehicle or fortress or structure, and turrets and things. And then we've got load sub-object, where we can actually save turrets into here and then load them up on other vehicles, which is really nice. And then you've got prefabs. Now the game comes with loads of prefabs, so there's really no reason not to use them. So if I come up here and select a prefab, I've just selected a prefabricated drill, and I can place an entire drill up here. And
I don't
then
even understand how that drill would work.
I can come down here and select a prefab for a very large engine, which doesn't quite fit here, but it doesn't really matter, it'll place as much of it as possible. So these things show you basically very quickly how to build different components.
Shoot, I need to
So
learn
there's
how
a
to
laser,
build all
just a
of
very
these
little laser, quite weak.
combinations. But I guess the game isn't getting smaller.
So we can very quickly, and we can save our own prefabs, of course. So you can make your own. You can very quickly build stuff and get to grips with how the different components work and how they fit together by using the prefab system. So hopefully this tutorial gives you everything you need to know about From the Depths to get started and start learning about how stuff works and building your own things. So yeah, good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, that's really the advice. Good luck with the development. There's a lot of luck involved in this. Alright, let's get back to this son of a bitch of a game. It just kept minimizing my alt tab.
Hi there, my name's Nick and I'm the developer of From the Depths, and
God forbid I.
I'm going to give you a quick tutorial.
No. Yeah. I'm just gonna drag another window and learn this. I think the mouse building's best.
Hi there, my
That's
name's
what
Nick and
Robaz
I'm
gets
the
away
developer
with.
of From
It
the
says
Depths, and I'm
keyboard's
going to give
weird,
you a
so-
quick tutorial about mouse-based building. So to start the mouse-based building, we just look at the vehicle where we want to build and we press B. And mouse-based building is basically like building in any other kind of voxel game like Minecraft. So you're basically just pointing your cursor at a surface, and you left-click to place a block on that surface, and you right-click to remove
Left
the
and right click.
the block that actually has the surface. Now it's worth mentioning up front that the game actually runs much better if you use keyboard-based building, but mouse-based building is there for players who maybe are still playing other construction games and don't want to have to change the way they build very regularly, you know, from one game to the next. So it's there to help new players acclimatize, but actually keyboard-based building is probably much faster and much more precise and less fiddly. And there's another tutorial on keyboard-based building, and you can access keyboard-based building in-game at any point by pressing F3. So that shows you basically how you add and remove blocks. The next thing we need to know is how to actually rotate the block. So we just hold tab actually, and then that allows W, A, S and D to rotate the block in different ways. And one final thing is that you can press G to get the cursor to actually point in specific directions. They'll basically make it point the way the camera is facing if you press
Four
G.
specific
tapping
directions. Not any
which is quite
specific
handy.
direction.
And now we're going to move on to 6 complicated techniques. So the first one is to, if you look at a block and you press R, it will actually select that block, which is quite nice.
Cool.
Secondly, if you press N, it will create a mirror plane, and you can create them in lots of different directions. So if we come down like this, we can create one like that, and we can create one like that, and we're going to keep this one. And a mirror plane does what you'd expect. It allows you to mirror the placement of blocks across the plane. So that's mirroring, which is achievable with N. And then another one is you can look down into an enclosed area and move your cursor into it and press F and you'll fill it, which is quite handy. One final thing is that you can select another type of block and you can press Shift and it will actually replace the block directly. So you can go along and touch up your design and change the material it's using, for example. without risking bits falling off, because the replacement is instantaneous. The next thing you can do is press P to actually shrink all the blocks in the design, and then you can just kind of run through the design and have a look at what's inside it. Pressing P will return the blocks to their normal size. And then the final advanced feature is if you go into the inventory and you go to color picker, select a color, you'll actually place blocks of that color, and if you go to color replace mode, you'll literally just activate kind of paintbrush. And one final thing I'm going to show you is how the inventory works and what the inventory gives to new players to help them learn how to play the game. So if we press E to access the inventory, we have lots of tabs down the left hand side, and that shows different categories of blocks. So you have things for controlling the vehicle, resource gathering, engines, for example. Every green block is actually has many different variants and linked blocks inside it, so you can actually expand these ones out to see what else there is in there. And also we have red blocks which are locked, and you can unlock them by playing missions. Finally, you have these guide buttons. Now the guides are very useful, so if we press the jet guide button, we actually see a step-by-step guide on how to combine custom jet components to build a working custom jet, which is really useful. And if you press back to the guide list, you actually see these guides for everything. So you've got drills here as well, for example, and it shows you how to build a working drill. And there's the engine going on the end of the drill, and then the engine starts for about it. It's in here, and then there, and then we can select the engine.
You're always supposed to
prefab.
drill on the top of the ship.
Quite a weak laser, quite a cheap weak laser prefab, and place that there. So we can actually learn all about the different components of the game from these prefabs, and build really fast. And of course we can save our own prefabs at any point as well, the same sets of components multiple times on different vehicles. So hopefully there's everything you need in here to learn how to play the game. You've got the prefabs, you can load and save objects from different vehicles and put them on your own vehicles. You've got descriptions, you've got guides. Where appropriate, there's actually links to documentation. So some blocks have a link to documentation where you can read specifically about them. So yeah, hopefully it's everything you need here, and
maybe it'll tell me what I need to connect to what.
good luck.
And I won't have to Google everything. Oh no. Old developer tutorial?
Hello there, my name is Nick, and I am the developer of things to unlock them. So I've selected a wood block here, and we'll see.
Jeez. I'll watch all the other 100 ones as long as I don't watch that one. Community made. Why is the FPS so bad? What did I do to this? This is not even recording at 60. What's wrong with YouTube? Jesus. I kinda don't understand.